All right, hello. Headset. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, lady. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me? Well, there's somebody watching. Can you hear me? Can you? Okay, they can hear me. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second while I send this link out to people so we can get this thing started. Got a lot to get into today. A bunch of WWE releases, a bunch of uncalled WWE releases. A bunch of release that didn't make any sense, that shouldn't have never happened, and it's sad, really. WWE is just doing the most ridiculous, stupid thing you can ever think of, and it's not even funny no more. Then it's just like, you just it's not even fun to watch no more. Let me be honest with you. To release the rare talent that they released yesterday is unheard of and just downright stupid. To release the talent that they released yesterday is the most utter, utter ridiculous thing you can ever do. And all of them guys gonna go elsewhere and make a huge name for themselves. And I mean a huge name for themselves. It was the most stupid release that the WWE could possibly do. And these guys haven't even made it to the main roster yet, and you release them. Utter stupid. Give me 1 second, y'all. It it it, it, it downright boggles the mind on what the WWE is doing and how the WWE is doing things and how they're releasing people. And it's like they're releasing people back to back. I'm about to read the names that got released yesterday. Give me 1 second. As of yesterday, the WWE released a handful of superstars, and all of these guys and ladies are from NXT. Bronson Reed, a former North American champion. Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish resume reads like a who's who of wrestling. Three-time NXT Tag Team Champion. He's a former multiple-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. A former Ring of Honor TV Champion. Leon Ruff, another former North American champion. Jake Atlas, who competed in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Mercedes Martin, who challenged for the NXT Women's Championship. And a lot of guys you don't see on here. What is his name? Key Reed, whatever. It's Keanu Reed. Eric Steels, who just signed in January. And Stephen Smith, who also just signed in January. But the three names on here that's a shocker, actually the four names on here that's a shocker: Bronson Reed, Bobby Fish, Leon Ruff, Tyler Ruck, and Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martin. This is why the WWE is falling apart. This is why they are making god awful champions. This is why their product sucks so bad right now. The only reliable thing about their product is Roman Reigns and the monster heel run Roman is on. But yet the WWE can't get it right with Monday Night Raw. They can't get it right with NXT, they had it right, then they dropped the ball. UK is probably the only reliable thing they got because Walter's unbelievable reign. Matter of fact, Walter's NXT World Title reign, NXT UK World Title reign, I should say, is about. Give me one second. I'm gonna give you the total number. Walter is Walter is sitting on 855 days as the NXT UK World Heavyweight Champion. Roman Reigns is pushing a year as the Universal Champion. The only other man to do that was Brock Lesnar. Then you got NXT superstars Karrion Kross, who I said he was underrated, and I stand on he's underrated. He lost to Keith Lee. Keith Lee finally on a winning streak. It took him two losses to get on a winning streak when WWE kept him off TV because of his weight. Let's just tell it like it is. They kept him off because of his weight. This is exactly why the WWE is falling apart. If you ask me, Keith Lee should have won against Bobby Lashley in his return. Just like Jeff Hardy made Karrion Kross look like a sucker, Keith Lee went out there and gave it his all against Bobby Lashley, but didn't win. Why? Because WWE does not want Keith Lee to advance. This guy's got talent on top of talent on top of talent. Ooh, excuse me, on top of talent. He is the first man in NXT to hold the North American and NXT championship at the same time. Keith Lee deserves better than the treatment they given him. He finally beat Karrion Kross, which was an excellent match on Monday Night Raw. They couldn't have written it no better. I applaud them for that. It was a heck of a match. But then you look at it. He came back and lost to Bobby Lashley. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm rocking a Hurt Business. I'm gonna show you. I'm rocking a Hurt Business shirt, the Bobby Lashley shirt, and all that. But all that being said, since Bobby Lashley's been champion, he's a washed-up champion. What up, Warren? He's a washed-up champion. The only thing that Bobby did was dominate Kofi Kingston. That's the only impressive thing he did. He barely got by Drew McIntyre. He barely got by Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. He barely got by, well, those are the only guys he fought besides Kofi Kingston. He barely got by Drew. He barely got by Braun. But he's the almighty WWE champion. What's almighty about Bobby Lashley except for his eyebrow? I'm just saying. I forgot to send one link. If Con Squad on here, send the link out in the Con Squad. Toya, send the link out in Discord for the show. I forgot to send that link out. Matter of fact, hold on. It's ridiculous. That's just my thoughts on it. That's how I feel about it. I really am getting sick and tired of this. Every freaking week, you got release after release after release, and it's not the one. It's not the ones that you think gonna get released. It's the ones that don't need to be released. There was no need to release Bronson Reed. There was no need to release Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish, a former Ring of Honor TV champion, tag team champion, Ring of Honor. The matches he had, matter of fact, Bobby Fish is also a former IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion with Kyle O'Reilly. Bobby Fish is perhaps the most deadliest man in WWE, was in WWE, but they held him back because he couldn't be good as Adam Cole. Don't get me wrong, Adam Cole is a total package, but they held him back because they wanted to push Adam Cole. They wanted to push Kyle O'Reilly. They wanted to push Roger Strong. The reason they pushed Those three instead of Bobby Fish because Kyle O'Reilly, Roger Strong, and Adam Cole are all former world champions. That's why they pushed those three. That's why they got rid of Bobby Fish. But if you look at what Bobby Fish has done, he's a 6th-degree black belt. He's also the most efficient guy you can ever get in the ring with. And yet you release Bobby Fish. Okay, that's fine. You release Leon Rush. Leo not Leon. Leon Ruffett, whatever his name is. The guy had a breakout year last year. Through the whole pandemic, he had a breakout year. Won his first ever championship against Johnny Gargano when he upset Johnny for the NXT North American Championship. Then he went on to have a hell of a rivalry with Isaiah Swerve Scott. Then he went on to upset Damian Priest. The guy has, then you release him after you send him to 205 Live, which 205 Live don't mean a hill of beans no more. That show is crap. Crap-tacular. That show is crap on top of crap. That's what it is. 2 matches, 30 minutes. So each match got 15 minutes. It's basically what it is. Then Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed. A guy who scratched and clawed to get to that NXT North American Championship, who finally won the NXT North American Championship and only held it for a month. Not even a month, probably. But to lose to Isaiah Scott, the Swerve Scott, whatever his name is, whatever he's going by name, I don't really care. I'm kind of pissed right now because these stupid release. Then you got guys in the performance center you are scared to call up. Why? Because you're scared they're gonna be better. Rick Steiner's son debuted this past week on NXT as a security guard. He was the guy Samoa Joe choked out in the ring. The Rock's daughter debuted on NXT as a female security guard. She's one of the guys that took out I forget that girl name, but she took her out. But yet you refuse to call these people up. But yet, just like on the main roster, you're going with stupid decisions. For the love of Pete, give Nakamura a belt already. He's King Nakamura. Give him the Intercontinental Championship. You see what he did with the IC title in New Japan? He made that title worth something. Give that man the IC title. The heck with Cesaro. Cesaro had so many chances, it's not even funny no more. He finally got his big break. Yes, I am the biggest Swiss Superman fan you will ever find. But Cesaro has had chance after chance after chance. And he blew them all. You gave Nakamura the Royal Rumble and you made him lose to AJ Styles. Not a bad decision. You give him the King of the Ring and you're doing nothing with Nakamura. This man is the second 2-time NXT champion. Samoa Joe being the first. But yet the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, is doing nothing with their talent. Finn Balor, who just came back to the main roster after going back to NXT and his guy had a hell of a run with that NXT championship. But yet instead, he gets on the main roster, he's going to fight guys like Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin. Explain to me what Baron Corbin has done recently, besides losing the crown to Nakamura. Explain to me what Sami Zayn has done recently. You want to make Finn Balor relevant? You put Finn Balor in the ring with John Cena. You make them battle it out for the number one contender spot against Roman Reigns. But they won't do that because they're protecting John Cena. Then you got another guy over there on AEW, and I'm gonna switch gears. I go back to WWE disappointed. You got a guy on WWE, got a guy on AEW who used to work in WWE at Stardust, who is the EVP of it, that company, and main event his company show against a guy who used to wrestle in WWE as Aleister Black. Now he wrestles as Malachi Black and lost. Then he called himself taking his boots off, going to the ring, and so-called retiring. I said it last week, and I'm gonna say it this week. Cody Rhodes needs to find Cody Rhodes and be Cody Rhodes, not be his daddy, not be his brother, be Cody Rhodes. Because who you trying to be, you ain't trying to be. Who you trying to be ain't working out for you. What you're trying to be is a ripoff of your father that has already been done. You're trying to be the natural Dustin Rhodes, which already been done. Be Cody Rhodes. Don't be nobody else. Drop the American Nightmare gimmick, drop the Stardust gimmick, drop the EVP gimmick, and be Cody Rhodes. Then you got this their awful world champion, Kenny My God Omega. I was a Kenny Omega fan. Now I'm not a Kenny Omega fan. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not a Kenny Omega fan. Because Kenny Omega absolutely sucks now. This guy is giving wrestling a black eye. He's a champion of three different organizations: Impact Wrestling, AEW, and Mexico's AAA division. Well, you know why he's the champion of all three divisions? Because of his uncle, Don the Mystery Hand, or the whatever he called himself, Callus. Kenny Omega sucks. He is the worst heavyweight champion I've ever seen in a long time. And I was watching wrestling in the time of Lex Luger. And Luger first reign absolutely sucked. Just like Kenny Omega reign sucks. I'm just saying. Start talking bad about Kenny Omega, you lose your viewers. Oh well. That's my point. I was around when Luger won the world title from Barry Windham at, I want to say, Great American Bash, when he had Harley Race in his corner. Lex Luger first reign absolutely sucked. Kenny Omega's reign as AEW champion sucked. Kenny Omega reign as Impact Wrestling champion sucked. I don't watch Mexican, but I'm pretty sure that sucked too. The state of professional wrestling is falling apart. WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling is the only show watchable, and that's sad because they're building this rivalry with Chris Sabin and Moose, another guy I can't stand. But I love the way they're building this rivalry. Okay, you put the tag titles on the Good Brothers, and don't get me wrong, the Good Brothers deserve that because every place they've gone, they've been tag team champions. They've been tag team champions every company they work for. New Japan, WWE, Impact Wrestling. Sooner or later, sooner or later, AEW. The Good Brothers just that good. Carl, Machine Gun Anderson, Doc, Festus, Gallows, whatever he's going by his name. Maybe it's not Festus. I don't know what it is, but all I know is Gallows. Carl, Machine Gun Anderson. They are good. And they're not good on purpose. They're good because they're good. Then you got perhaps the best tag team in the world doing nothing since they aligned themselves back with Kenny Omega. And I'm talking about the Young Bucks. But yet, they're not doing nothing because Kenny Omega and his uncle are sucking the life out of them. AEW is a ripoff of WWE because if you look at AEW's roster, 90% of their roster is ex WWE superstars or Ring of Honor superstars or Impact Wrestling superstars. There's a couple guys that work for WWE over there, like Darby Allin, good hand. Okay, but their champions, with the exception of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, are all former WWE stars. Well, and Britt Baker, who's Adam Cole's fiance, Cedric Alexander's wife is over there. So, but yet their very first champion, Chris Jericho, ex WWE star, ex WCW star, ex ECW star. As a matter of fact, Chris Jericho is the only man in professional wrestling history to hold the WCW and ECW World TV Championships. Ah, Hogan's not wrestling no more. Get out of here with that Hogan crap. Jericho is the only man to hold both ECW and WCW TV titles. But yet, AEW champion is not worth a hill of beans. And it's sad to say that because when he was in New Japan, Kenny Omega was good. His matches with the Rainmaker were hella good. Well, I mean, hella good. His matches with the Ace, hella good. But yet Kenny Omega, since he came to AEW and since he aligned himself with his uncle Don Callis, another guy I can't stand, Kenny Omega's career has went downhill. I'm just saying. He calls him Don Callis calls him Kenny My God Omega. He said he's better than Hacks. He's better than Flair. He's better than Hogan. I doubt it. As Con Squad put in the bits, Hogan's first reign in WCW was a year. Hogan's first WCW World title, he went 1 year undefeated as World Heavyweight Champion. Hollywood Hogan went 1 year as WCW Champion undefeated. But people forget about that. Why they forget about that? Because Goldberg overshadowed area overshadowed everything when he came to WCW. Goldberg win streak was you know what? Let's just tell it like it is. Goldberg beat a bunch of nobodies before he beat Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan to win the world title. And I said it like it is. The only relevant guy Goldberg beat in that streak was William Regal. And the only reason he got that fight, and I want you to go back on Peacock and watch the Nitro when Goldberg fought William Regal. And I promise you, you're going to see William Regal throw a cheap shot in there. Regal hit Goldberg real because at the end of the match, Goldberg had a shiner. And they tried to cover her up. Now they may have edited it out, but you're going to see the punch that was heard around the world. Now after the match, Regal beat the crap out of Goldberg in the locker room, got suspended for it. They made Goldberg look like nothing ever happened, but Goldberg was badly bruised after that fight. Just like Paul Orndorff and Big Van Vader. Paul Orndorff beat the crap out of Big Van Vader in the shower wearing nothing but shower shoes. It happens. It happens. The state of WWE, the state of Monday Night Raw, the state of NXT, the state of Friday Night SmackDown, the state of WWE, they have lost all credibility with me. Releasing talent after talent after talent after talent that can make that company money is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Last week, you released Braid Wyatt out the blue. This week, you released the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Then yesterday, you released 12 NXT superstars for what? The company cannot be in the red. SummerSlam will go as scheduled next week. I think it's next week. Hold on. Yes, next week. The 21st, next Saturday. The state of Monday Night Raw. Bobby Lashley, the WWE champion. You want to put Bobby Lashley as dominant, put him in the ring with Brock Lesnar. And I can't stand Brock Lesnar, but put him in the ring with Brock Lesnar. This Goldberg crap, gotta go. If Goldberg wins the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, Goldberg will be the only man to hold the WCW, the World Heavyweight Championship, the Universal Championship, and now the WWE Championship. Goldberg will be the first man to hold four different world championships in his career. He'd be the only man to ever do that. Okay, the U.S. champ on on Monday Night Raw. Give that belt to Damian Priest and get rid of Sheamus. Put Sheamus on SmackDown where he belongs. Give the U.S. title to Damian Priest. AJ Styles and Omos. What Omos did to the Riddle this past Monday on Raw opened my eyes. I still don't like the big freak, but the way he dominated Riddle, good lord, that was funny. He might just do that. Okay, AJ Styles, and build up your tag team division. Seriously, build up your tag team division over on Raw. Because I'm sick of seeing the Viking Raiders against AJ and Omos. Give that opportunity to somebody else. Like, well, you have nobody else. I'm tired of seeing the New Day win the tag titles, but give it to the New Day or whoever else. The Lucha House Party. Or Mason Rubar or Rebar or whatever he calls himself nowadays. Mason Don and Dijak. That's all I can think of. Give it to guys like that. And as far as the women's championship, we all know Charlotte gonna win that belt again at SummerSlam. We all know Reva not gonna get that belt back. Okay, that's fine. But rewrite it and give Nikki the SummerSlam moment she so rightfully deserves. NXT, I'm gonna come back to that. SmackDown, the head of the table, the tribal chief, the most dominant world heavyweight universal champion there ever was. See, Roman's a fighting champion. Brock wasn't. Roman showed up at every pay per view and defended that title. Brock didn't. See, this is what makes Roman better than Brock Lesnar. Roman defended that title on every pay per view thus far. Brock only defended the title SummerSlam, Great Balls of Fire, um, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But still, Roman has defended it all. Has defended that title every PPV thus far. Give the title to Roman Reigns. Give the title to Roman Reigns or John Cena or Finn Balor. You can't go wrong there. The Intercontinental Champion, please take the IC title off Apollo Crews. I am so sick of seeing Apollo Crews as Intercontinental Champion. He was a god awful U.S. champion. Now he's a god awful Intercontinental Champion. Please get the Intercontinental title to Nakamura. Or, yeah, Nakamura, whatever. Have a tag team. What that thing they used to have back in the day? It's called the tag team something. I forget what it was. It comes to me. I forget what it was. They had that SummerSlam '99 where the Acolytes won. What was it called? Oh crap! I'm drawing. I know the name of it, just can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. Okay, have a fatal four-way tag team match to determine the number one contender for the tag team titles. The Alpha Academy, the Dirty Dogs, the Street Profits. But yet, you want to put the Mysterios and the Usos back in the ring with each other. Okay, whatever. Jeff Hardy should be back on Raw this Monday night. His COVID 14-day COVID thing is I think is up this Monday. He's going to be in action. So why not John Cena? Finn Balor, maybe, yeah, Finn Balor. What Finn Balor did at NXT as the NXT champion for the second time was awesome. Well, it was just awesome, and I gotta give him a round of applause for that. It was just awesome. Don't forget, NXT 36 is the night after SummerSlam. That's Sunday, live on Peacock. Okay, live on Peacock. The main event is Samoa Joe versus Karrion Cross. I hope Samoa Joe choke out Karrion Cross. I really do. You're also going to see Dragunov against Walter 2 for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. That's the only two matches I know of right now. Right now, when more matches come, I'll give them to you next weekend. Cena hasn't had a match in over a year. Yeah, over a year. The chicken smell good. So, yeah, so that's the only matches we know of right now for NXT 36. SummerSlam. The card is as follow. Hold on, I'm gonna read it to you. That's your opinion, Toya. Cena hasn't had a match in a year, in over a year. Um, he's also Vince McMahon's boy, and everybody knows. I give you that. I give. That's my point. Give somebody a new opportunity, but we're gonna see how that goes. The SummerSlam card reads as follow: You have Edge versus Seth Rollins in a one-on-one matchup. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The Usos defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Bobby Lashley defends the WWE Championship against Goldberg. Roman Reigns defends the WWE Championship, the WWE Universal Championship against John Cena. Nikki ASH versus Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, which has now been turned into a triple threat elimination match. When the heck that happened? What? Okay. Those are the matches thus far for SummerSlam. I guarantee there'll be more matches made. For NXT TakeOver 36, the matches as follow: Walter versus Dragunov in a one-on-one matchup, and Karrion Cross with Scarlett versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. Now, these are my thoughts as far as SummerSlam go, and this is my thoughts as far as um, NXT goes. SummerSlam, the match that's going to steal the show: Edge and Seth Rollins. I'm gonna tell you why. These guys are similar superstars. They're gonna tear the house down. They're gonna tear the house down. You hear me? I truly believe they're gonna tear the house down. That 2001 SummerSlam and I forget what it was, but it was Alliance versus WWF versus WCW ECW, and Edge went one on one with Lance Storm for the Intercontinental Championship. Edge won the Intercontinental Championship. A couple of years later, Edge main evented SummerSlam as he went one on one with The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. The ending of that match was awesome because Taker took him, sat up 2 ladders in the ring, took him up the ladder and choke slammed him down the metaphor was like he choke slammed the hell. Taker won that match, but still. So Edge has had some spectacular moments at SummerSlam. I think he's going to have another spectacular moment this SummerSlam. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is going to win this, and it's going to be a rubber match. They're going to have one more match at Hell. I want to say Hell in a Cell. I don't know what's at the SummerSlam. To tell you the truth, they're going to have another match, and it's going to be Bianca and Sasha one more time. So Sasha's going to win this matchup for the Women's Championship. Also, the Usos against the Mysterios. I'm gonna say we're gonna see an upset. We're gonna see new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I think the Mysterios are gonna beat the Usos and take the titles. I also think WWE is gonna allow Goldberg to defeat Bobby Lashley and become the new WWE champion. I hope not, but I got a feeling that's what's gonna happen. I got a feeling that it's going to turn into a triple threat match. Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor versus John Cena for the Universal Championship. And I think you're going to see the Prince walk out as the new Universal Champion for the second time in his career. And at SummerSlam, Nikki ASH versus Charlotte and Rhea. I got Rhea Ripley walking out as the new Raw Women's Champion, and when she does that, you're gonna see the return of the man Becky Lynch at SummerSlam in Las Vegas. That is my prediction for SummerSlam. When more matches are announced, I will give my prediction of those. But I'm telling you, that is my prediction for SummerSlam. Now, as far as NXT Takeover and the two matches they got right now, Dragunov and Walter one was awesome, and I mean it was awesome. It was a knockdown, drag out affair where they beat the living crap out of each other, and there was no fans in the arena to watch that match, and they beat the crap out of each other. If you have Peacock, if you subscribe to Peacock, go to Peacock, watch Dragunov Walter one on NXT UK. And that match was awesome because they beat the brakes off each other. Dragunov came up a little bit short. This time, I got Dragunov ending Walter's reign as NXT UK champion. Karrion Cross, Samoa Joe. I don't like Karrion Cross. I can't stand the guy. But I'm going to tell you like this. This match is going to steal the show. It's going to steal the whole product in NXT because you got two guys that are going to go out there and throw hands in that ring. And there's nobody that throws hands better than Samoa Joe. There's nobody that throws hands better than Karrion Cross. This match at NXT TakeOver 26, Karrion Cross, Samoa Joe will make NXT. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Because Karrion Cross is perhaps the most hated wrestler in all of WWE. But he's hated for two reasons. One, he can back up what he's saying in that ring. And two, the guy locks in that Doomsday Saito or the Saito suplex on you is all over for you. I don't like him, but the guy can back up what he says. He's been NXT champion for almost 100 and some days now. He's he's doing something right. He's doing something right. Karrion Cross is the real deal. I just don't like him. Samoa Joe, former NXT two-time champion. He's also a former United States champion two times over. Samoa Joe, the best submission wrestler you will ever face in the ring. His matches in TNA with Christopher Daniel, AJ Styles, magnificent for the X Division Championship. His matches against AJ Styles at SummerSlam a couple of years ago, awesome. Joe has yet to have a bad match in WWE. This match is going to define Samoa Joe's career. My prediction for that matchup, you're going to see Samoa Joe, a three-time NXT champion. You're going to see Karrion Cross move on to the main roster and do bigger and better things. This is going to beat this is going to be a promotion for both superstars. This is going to elevate Samoa Joe's career, and this is going to elevate Karrion Cross' career. I guarantee that. That's my prediction for that. All right. Now, before I go, we're going to get the Impact Wrestling news real quick. Hold on. There's a lot of things about Impact Wrestling nobody knows about. I'm about to let you know right now. Give me 1 second. This past week on Impact Wrestling, you saw Chris Bay became the newest member of the Bullet Club. You saw Frankie Kazarian have his first match in Impact Wrestling in over 12 years. You saw Eddie Edwards and Sammy Callahan get along in a tag team matchup, and it was a good matchup, to be honest with you. Chris Bay joined the Bullet Club. Yeah, it's going to be worth his while. He's going to be a great Bullet Club. The new leader of the Bullet Club, Jay White, who is officially signed with Impact Wrestling. And Jay White's is a former New Japan World Champion, U.S. champ, Intercontinental champ. Now he's a never open weight champion. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. The talk of WWE and New Japan partnership cannot go as a plan right now because as of right now, New Japan is in partnership with AEW and Impact Wrestling because of Don Callis. Um, that's the only smart thing he did. When that partnership does happen, you will see the Gorillas of Destiny in WWE, and I would love to see the Gorillas of Destiny go in a tag team matchup with the Usos. That would be a great matchup. The Gorillas of Destiny are six-time IWGP Tag Team Champion. They hold the record for the most reigns. So the New Japan WWE deal is put on hold right now, but once they're out their contract with AEW and Impact Wrestling, you will see that deal. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you next week I will have more in-depth details. Hopefully next week there won't be any more releases. Hopefully next week WWE has spruced up their product. Hopefully, thank you, Jay New. Hopefully, next week WWE has spiffied up their product. So next week I will give you more information. I find out more information. I do know this. SummerSlam is August 21st, Saturday night, 8 o'clock p.m. live on Peacock. It will be the main event has been, and it will be John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. My thoughts on that match is like this. The last time they went one-on-one was at No Mercy a couple years ago. John Cena made Roman Reigns look like a child. Roman Reigns came out with win that night, but we're gonna find out can the history repeats itself. The way I see it, it's gonna be a triple threat match. You're gonna see the head of the table, Roman Reigns, the Prince, Finn Balor, John Cena for the Universal Championship in a triple threat match. And that night, we're gonna see Finn Balor reclaim his throne and become a two-time Universal Champion. Balor is the first Universal Champion. That at this coming SummerSlam in Vegas, he will be a two-time Universal Champion. I also believe Goldberg will win the WWE Championship. He will win the WWE Championship and be the only man to hold the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE version of the World Heavyweight Championship, the Universal Championship, and the WWE Championship. So if that happens, Goldberg will make history at SummerSlam. Also, I got the Mysterios upsetting the Usos. If not, I got the Usos upsetting Mysterios in a classic matchup because last night at the end of Friday Night SmackDown, I see Jay Uso did something or do something I've never seen him do in my life. Jay Uso in midair turned and hit a Uso splash on Finn Balor last night. That was the best thing I ever seen of the Usos. The first man I seen turn in midair when he was going for a splash was RVD. Turned in midair for the 5-star frog splash. But last night was the first time I seen Jay Uso did it. This whole Roman Reigns, John Cena, Finn Balor storyline is awesome. I can't wait to see where it goes with this. This Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks storyline is awesome. I love where it's going right now. This Intercontinental Championship debacle, cabraco, whatever you want to call it, it needs to end. Baron Corbin situation. I love the way they're playing that storyline to a T. It's awesome. Um, on my SmackDown, Big E as Mr. Money in the Bank has yet to see competition. Put Big E in competition. You want to push Big E? You put Big E against Cesaro. Stop making these Money in the Bank guys soft. Big E is a former two-time Intercontinental champion. He's held a hell of a lot of tag team championships. He's a former two-time Intercontinental championship. Big E needs a push. It's about time he got that push. He stepped back. He set back and watched Kofi win the championship at WrestleMania. He sat back and watched Xavier Woods go out the U.S. championship. Now it's Big E's time to shine. And if Big E do not cash in that championship and win that, do not cash in that briefcase and win, WWE has conspiracy against black people. All right. Big E has got the power. He's got the strength. He's got the focus. What he did against Sami Zayn, what he did when he picked up Commander Aziz and hit the big ending on him, Big E's too strong for his own words. Big E has got victories over the likes of Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Cesaro, Sheamus, the Hardys, you name it, Big E has got victories over. It's time for Big E to become WWE champion. It's time for Big E to be a World Heavyweight champion. It's overtime for Big E to be a champion. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, it's time for New Day to get back on that throne. When Big E becomes on WWE or Universal Champion, then put the tag team on, you give the New Day the tag team scraps. You take the U.S. title off of Sheamus, you put it on Damian Priest. You bring back the U.S. title open, you bring guys up from the main roster. Adam Cole, Adam Cole, baby, had a meeting with Vince McMahon live on SmackDown, not on SmackDown, live doing SmackDown last night. To hopefully sign a mainstream contract with the main roster. You put Adam Cole on Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown, you give him a championship right away. I'll tell you why right now. You give Cole a championship, it boosts the ratings. What he did with that NXT championship was freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. 1 year as NXT champion, and he took NXT from a developmental company to a mainstream company. Because during the rivalry they had with Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, Adam Cole beat the likes of Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins. There's no one better, in my opinion, than Adam Cole. It's time for him to jump to the main roster. And when he jumps to a main roster, you make Adam Cole U.S. champion. Then you make him WWE champion or Universal champion. That's just my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my show. This has been my show. This has been my. It's been a heck of a show today. I will be back next weekend. Before I go, I'm gonna say this right now. What you do is you want to end this whole Adam Cole feud. You put him in 3 stages to hell. Yes, what you do. You put him in 3 stages to hell. And it really don't matter who wins because if Kyle O'Reilly wins, Kyle O'Reilly gets a promotion. If Adam Cole wins, Adam Cole gets a promotion. You put them in a match, you let them beat the crap out of each other, you let one of them come out on top. It really don't matter who wins. Now, as far as Roger Strong and the Cruiserweight Championship, you put Strong, you put Kushida, you put them on TakeOver. You let them go for the Cruiserweight Championship. You let Kashiba come out on top because Strong ain't ready yet. Okay? You let Kushida come out on top, behold that title. A month and a half later, they have a rematch at TakeOver. You give the match to Roger Strong to become the new Cruiserweight Championship. Why? Because Kashiba is meant for bigger and better things. You take the Cruiserweight Championship off Kashiba, you put him up against, you put Kashiba against the North American Championship, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and you give Kashiba the North American Championship. Kushida, a multiple time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He's won the J Cup multiple times. He was trained by the likes of Jushin Thunder Liger, the Great Muda. Those guys ain't no slouch. Muda's a former world champion. He beat Barry Windham for the WCW World Championship at the WCW New Japan show. He held the title for 84 days before dropping it to Barry Windham, who dropped it to Ric Flair. Ric Flair unified the NWA and WCW Championship against, I forget that Japanese guy's name, but he did it. Flair will go on to unify the International and WCW Championship against Sting on Clash of Champions, getting rid of the old version of the WCW title and getting the big gold belt. He will go on to Bash at the Beach to lose the World Championship to Hulk Hogan. Hogan will go on to hold the title for 1 year before losing to the Giant at Halloween Havoc. The Giant will be stripped of the title in WCW, and the belt will be put up in a battle royal, which was won by Randy Savage via controversy. Randy Savage held that title for 30 days before dropping it to Ric Flair. Ric Flair held the belt for 20 days before dropping it to Randy Savage. Randy Savage held the belt for 14 days before dropping it back to Ric Flair. Ric Flair will hold the belt for 14 days before dropping it back to Randy Savage. Randy Savage would hold the belt for 28 days before dropping it back to Ric Flair. Ric Flair will hold the belt for 44 days before dropping it to the Giants. The Giant will hold the title for 135 days before dropping it to Hollywood Hogan and Road Wild. Hogan will hold the title for a year before dropping it to Luger on Monday Nitro. Luger will hold the title for 6 days before dropping it right back to Hogan. Hogan dropped the title to Sting. Title held up due to controversy at Starrcade. Sting wins the title, drops it to Randy Savage at Spring Stampede. Savage dropped the title to Hogan on Nitro. Hogan drops the title to Ric Flair inside of a steel cage. Flair drops the title to DDP in a fatal four-way. DDP drops the title to Sting, wins the title back the same night against Sting, drops the title again to Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash drops the title against Randy Savage. Hogan drops the title. um, Savage drops the title to Hogan. Hogan vacates the title because of a bum knee. 1 second. Because of a bum knee. Sting wins the title, wins the title, stripped the title because he drops Charles Robinson on his head. WCW has a tournament for the title. Bret Hart wins the tournament. Bret Hart injured, goes into another tournament. Bret Hart comes back and wins the second tournament, wins the title, loses the title again, has to retire because of Goldberg's spear. Kevin Nash makes himself the world champion, has a powerbomb competition with Psycho Sid, loses the powerbomb contest. Sid wins the title. WCW reboots himself. Jeff Jarrett becomes the new world champion. Jarrett drops the title to DDP, who drops the title back to Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett drops the title. Yeah, Jarrett drops the title to Ric Flair. Drops the title to Kevin Nash, who vacates the title to Ric Flair. Jarrett wins the title from Ric Flair again before dropping the title to Booker T. Booker T drops the title to Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash drops it back to Booker T. Booker T drops the title to Vince Russo. Vince Russo drops the title to Booker T. Booker T will go on and drop the title to Scott Steiner, who will drop the title back to Booker T. Booker T will be the final recognized WCW champion of that brand and will take the title to WCW. I'm sorry, will take the title to WWF. So Booker T is the final WCW world champion in WCW. I can go on. This is how big of a wrestling fan I am. I can go on. I can go on and on. The final recognized WCW Tag Team Champions were Sean O'Hara and Chuck Colombo. The final recognized WWF WCW Tag Team Champions was the Dudley Boys. The final recognized WCW United States Champion was Booker T. The final recognized WCW United States Champion, Edge. I can go on. I can go on. I am a huge WCW fan. I'm telling you, the championships that's been won and lost. Hacksaw Jim Duggan is the last WCW TV champion. After he found the title in the trash can, after Scott Hall threw the belt in the what? The Hall threw the title in the trash can. No, wait, that was Kevin Nash who did that. Either way, one of them did it. Idiots. WCW and WWF had a rivalry that made the wrestling business, ooh, made you love watching Monday nights because you could turn from Nitro to Raw, Nitro to Raw. 84 weeks, WCW beat WWF. The night Mick Foley beat The Rock for the WWF Championship was the night the WWF beat Monday Nitro. And that was the night Tony Schiavone dropped the ball, and Tony Schiavone said, huh, if you're going to turn to our competition, don't bother. Mick Foley, who wrestled here at Cactus Jack, is going to win their world title. That's going to put butts in the seats. Well, people immediately switch the channel and watch Mick Foley become the WWF champion. The same night, Stone Cold returned. Mick Foley, a three-time WWF champion, two with The Rock. He won both his titles from The Rock and one from Stone Cold. Not a bad resume. This is why professional wrestling has been a hobby of mine for so long. Because I'm a huge fan and it sickens me to see wrestling the way it is now. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I have 2K right now for my PS4. I have WWE 2K, what was it, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I play all of them. I have a universe mode. No, I have a universe mode and all of them started. So I play all of them. I have championships. As a matter of fact, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you how big of a wrestling fan I am. All right, my NWA title is a little wear and tear. This is the same title that Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes had. Harley Race had that belt as well. All right, let me show you something. This right here, this is the old United States Championship. See this? This is the old United States Championship. This is the title back in the day MVP made famous when he held it for that long. Set this right over here. Hold on, I'm not done yet. This is the Intercontinental Championship. The old Intercontinental Championship. This is the version of the title guys like Shawn Michaels, Rocky Maivia, Triple H, the Honky Tonk Man. They've all held this championship. They've all held this championship. This is the workhorse championship in WWE. Guys like Chris Jericho, The Miz, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins have all held this Intercontinental Championship. Guys like Cody Rhodes, Goldust, um, Roddy Piper, the Mountie, Bret the Hitman Hart, Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, all held this Intercontinental Championship. This is the Intercontinental title you held when you knew it was almost your time to be WWE Champion. This is the belt that made WWF famous. One more for you. Hold on 1 second. This is the NXT Championship. This is the championship that is currently held by Karrion Cross. But before Karrion Cross held it, this is the championship guys like Adam Cole, Johnny Gangala, Tommaso Ciampa. This is the championship those guys held. This is the championship you hold when you know you have made it to the top of NXT. Guys like Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode have all held this NXT championship. This championship is not only the championship that determines if you get called up or not. That championship is a championship that makes you the top guy in NXT. This championship right here has so much lineage behind it. The very first champion, Pat Patterson, held this championship. Pat Patterson was the first Intercontinental Champion. Patterson won this title in a tournament in Rio de Janeiro. The longest Intercontinental Champion, the Honky Tonk Man. The greatest Intercontinental Champion, in my opinion, Shawn Michaels. The second greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Bret Hart. I got Bret Hart. All right. This championship right here, this United States Championship, has been held by some of the legends and Hall of Famers in WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Sting, Ric Flair, Harley Race have all held and made this title famous. As a matter of fact, Harley Race is the very first United States Championship. United States champion. This championship was won by the likes of John Cena, Kevin Owens, Rusev, Zack Ryder, MVP, Bobby Lashley, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. This championship has made guys' careers what it is today. This championship, which I need to get refurbished, has been around the waist of some of the all-time greats. Terry Funk, Ricky Steamboat, Dory Funk Jr., Adam Pearce, Sting, Jeff Jarrett. This championship, AJ Styles, Ron the Truth Killer, aka R-Truth. R-Truth, as a matter of fact, is the first black NWA World Champion. This is the championship that put NWA slash WCW on the freaking map, people. This championship was held by all-time greats Ric Flair, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes. Um, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of guys that held this NWA championship. TNA got this championship. Guys like Jeff Jarrett, Christian Cage, AJ Styles, Abyss, Sting, all held this championship. Dan the Beast Sedgwick was the NWA World Champion. Ken Shamrock was the NWA World Champion. And these guys are UFC greats. These championships, which I'm thinking about ordering another one very, very soon. These championships what is what make wrestling great when they're in the right hands. My passion for wrestling began at 7 years old, and now it's still going to this day. I am Anthony the Origin Bryant. I am the biggest wrestling fan there ever was. As a matter of fact, when I get off of this, I might hop on my PS4 and play 2K20. I have already pre-ordered 2K22. I love talking about wrestling. I love watching wrestling. When I get off of this, I'm gonna play 2K20. I may watch the network old school wrestling because the wrestling world lost a legend this week. Beautiful Bobby Eaton, the master of the Alabama Jam. This man was tag team specialist. Bobby Eaton. When he was in the blue blood, he was called Earl Robert Eaton. When they kicked him out, he went back to Bobby Eaton. It wasn't a time you didn't see the Midnight Express without championship gold. They were the first tag team to be the U.S. Tag Team Champions and the NWA Tag Team Champions. The Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express rivalry made tag team wrestling. And I'm getting excited just talking about that. That rivalry, that rivalry that tag team had made professional wrestling. I don't care what nobody ever says. The rivalry that put the NWA on the freaking map, the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Loverboy Dennis Cordra, Bobby Eaton. Then when they kicked Loverboy out, they got Sweet Stan Lane, and the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express rivalry was officially born. That rivalry set tag team wrestling on fire. When Bobby Eaton became a singles athlete, nobody wanted to give him an opportunity. Ric Flair said, "Put him with me." At the Clash of the Champions, Ric Flair and Bobby Eaton went 1 hour and stole the freaking show. Bobby Eaton was this close to becoming World Heavyweight Champion. When they wanted to give Bobby Eaton his first singles championship, the current U.S. Heavyweight Champion, the total package, didn't want to drop the belt to a tag team wrestler. You know what happened? Double A on Anderson said, "I'll do the honor and the privilege." At Super Brawl 2, Bobby Eaton became the NWA World Television Champion when he hit the Alabama Jam on Arn Anderson to become World Television Champion. Beautiful Bobby Eaton is perhaps deep. No, there's no perhaps in it. Beautiful Bobby Eaton is the best tag team wrestler of all time. And there's no one better than Bobby Eaton. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, wherever you at, stand to your feet as we do a 10 bell salute. Hold on. Yeah, as we do a 10 bell salute for the late, great, beautiful Bobby. Well, you don't got to stand to your feet, but for a moment, just be silent. And can somebody put in the chat RIP beautiful Bobby Eaton as we do this? Ladies and gentlemen, that is for the legend, beautiful Bobby Eaton. Cody is not best for business. Cut it out. That is my show. I am. Can somebody put in the chat, rest in peace, beautiful Bobby Eaton, please, before we go? Or just put RIP, beautiful Bobby Eaton. The hell, what did I do it myself? One second. Ah, I totally did it. All right. Thank you. This show is dedicated to beautiful Bobby Eaton. I'm a huge fan of Bobby Eaton. Always will be. I'm a huge fan of the Midnight Express. So as I close another show out, before I go, I gotta do it because it's only right to do it. Bobby Eaton, this is for you. Hold on. I gotta link my speaker. Give me a second so y'all can hear it. Link, you piece of crap. Oh. Can y'all hear that? If you can hear that in the chat, say yes or no. What? Can nobody hear me all of a sudden? Can you hear it? Yes or no? Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my show. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you back here next weekend for another edition of the Master of the Mat. I am Anthony the Origin Bryant. And thank you for watching my show each and every week. I love you all. And I will see you next week for another edition of the Master. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Peace.